Hello everyone and welcome to Archaeolite. This video is a little short introduction to the next series of videos that I'm about to begin in the next coming weeks and months. This series is going to be on the early imperial expansion of the United States of America. Uh, for those of you who don't know, the US began to expand and slowly incorporate all of the North American, or most of the North American continent, into its empire. First, starting with the land east of the Mississippi, starting in 1783, and eventually making it all the way to California and Oregon by the time of 1846 and 1848. Now, a lot of you might be watching this and thinking, but dang, US imperialism didn't begin until right around the Spanish American War. Yes, uh, that is the traditional rhetoric theory, however you want to call it. However, I and some historians, not all, but I and some historians tend to disagree with that assessment. Uh, I and other historians, again, not all, tend to believe that American imperial expansion began essentially at the inception of the formation of the United States. So, with that in mind, here is how I am defining the periods of U.S. imperial expansion. Now, keep in mind that this is a completely arbitrary list. This is by no means like the academic standard or anything like that. This list is solely to give context and perspective for the video series that I am about to start. So, with that in mind, the way I have divided up the stages of U.S. imperial expansion are into three major periods and categories, with the first and the subject of this upcoming series being early U.S. imperial expansion, which started roughly from 1790-ish. One could argue all the way back to 1783, uh, uh, and then would last up until about 1848 CE. And again, this is a rough estimate. And this time period encompasses periods and eras such as the era of good feelings and the Jacksonian era, as well as large scale military conflicts such as the Cherokee American War and the War of 1812, both of which I've already done videos on, as well as the Mexican American War. And then following that is what I call the intermediate period of imperial expansion, which I plan on doing a sort of sequel series to at a much later date, called, uh, again, the intermediate period of U.S. imperial expansion, which lasted from roughly 1848 to 1898 CE, give or take, and encompasses periods such as the Reconstruction era and the Gilded Age, as well as conflicts such as the American Civil War and the wars with the Native American nations of the Great Plains. And then we get to the last period that I divide the stages of U.S. imperial expansion into. And this is the period that most people are familiar with, or most people look to when they think of the start of U.S. imperialism. But I call this the late U.S. imperial period of U.S. imperial expansion. And this is a period that lasts roughly from 1898 to 1945 CE, though one could argue that this period of imperial expansion by the U.S. still has yet to end. But generally, the accepted time period is up until about 1945 CE. And this period encompasses uh, this a period of imperial expansion encompasses periods such as the Progressive Era and the Roaring Twenties, as well as conflicts such as the Spanish American War, the Philippine American War, and of course World War II. So, with that all in mind, uh, for the first of these series, I'm going to focus on the early period of U.S. imperial expansion. And this is a time period that was dominated by military and political attempts to gain more land, uh, more foreign land and continental land, uh, with these attempts being led by presidents such as Thomas Jefferson, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, and James K. Polk. All right, with that, that ends our little short introduction on the my series on early U.S. imperial expansion. Uh, I look forward to making the series, and I hope everyone else looks forward to watching it. And as always, I hope everyone has a good day.